Hello there, IELTS students. Welcome to IELTS Podcast. You no longer have to worry, fret, or panic about IELTS because we are here to guide you through this test jungle. Enjoy these IELTS tutorials, and if you need more help or want to access the famous online course, you can visit us at IELTSPodcast.com. Hello there, IELTS students. In this episode, we'll be speaking with Shahla. Did I pronounce that right, Shahla?
Yes, that's perfect.
Good. I was practicing beforehand with Shahla. Shahla. I keep wanting to say Shahla, but that's wrong, isn't it? Shahla.
Yeah, Shahla is fine.
Okay, Shahla. Right. Yes, and she has taken the IELTS exam a few times, and in this tutorial she's going to share with us how she passed and what she did to pass. So before we jump into this, can you tell us about yourself, why you're taking the IELTS exam and where you're from?
Yes, sure. Thank you, Ben. So I'm Shahla from Dhaka, Bangladesh, and I have been taking IELTS for immigration purpose. So I'll be applying for skilled express entry to Canada. So that's why I need a particular band to get the desired point. So that's why I was taking IELTS.
Interesting. Whereabouts in Canada do you want to go?
Vancouver, hopefully.
Really? Why Vancouver?
Because actually I'm working in film industry in Bangladesh, and Vancouver would be ideal to get jobs in my profession. So that's why I was hoping to try my luck there at the beginning. Interesting.
Is you're working in film, is it connected to Bollywood at all, or is that more India?
No, Bollywood is based in India, so yeah. I'm working in the film industry in Dhaka.
Right.
So mostly we make films and TV commercials.
Yeah. Is that for the Bangladesh market?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes, this is for Bangladeshi market.
Right. And sorry, we're going to get a bit off topic, but then don't worry, listeners, we're going to go back to IELTS. I'm just curious now. But so your experiences with the Bangladeshi market, what is it exactly that you do in film production?
So I work as assistant director. So mostly I coordinate with different departments like cinematography or art and other like casting. So I mostly help the director to work with other teams. I
see. And when you get to Vancouver, we're not going to say if, we're going to say when you get to Vancouver, you will be looking for a similar position.
Yes. I'll go there and I'll look for other work opportunities as well, but I'll do film and media sectors, and I'll see how the industry works there. So I will not only look for works as assistant director, but I'll be open for other opportunities as well, as long as it is close to film and media.
Interesting. Very good. Well, I wish you the best of luck with that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So let's jump into your IELTS preparation.
Sure.
What issues were you having because you've taken the test a few times? What issues were you having?
So I was facing difficulties with the writing section. I appeared for IELTS for the first time in 2015 when I was trying to go to UK for masters, and at that time I did all the preparation by myself, and I got the band I needed at that time. So in 2017, end of 2017, when I started preparing for general training this time, I was pretty confident that I'll be fine by myself, because I just need 7 in writing, reading, and speaking, and 8 in listening. So I was pretty confident.
Interesting.
But then when I gave my first exam, then I saw that no, I'm just not as good as like I'm not
Not as good
receiving the
as you.
marks I needed. Yes.
Gotcha. So, in the period from when you first took the test and then you tried again, your grades had gotten worse. Is that right?
Like it didn't actually improve because that time I took academic. Oh, you were saying about the general training or?
No, because you said in 2015 you applied
Yes,
to go to a British university and you had to take
yes,
IELTS, and then you took the IELTS again a few years later, and you didn't get the
right.
grades you wanted. So I was asking, in that
Yes.
period, had your English deteriorated?
Actually, it was almost similar because in 2015 I got 6 in writing. In 2017 also I got 6 in writing, but that was not what I was expecting because in the meantime I did masters and I was in UK for 1.5 years. So I thought my English improved, especially the writing section because I had
Oh,
to write many assignments, do research and all. But then actually it was not the case.
gotcha. So it wasn't that your English had deteriorated; it had actually stayed the same, probably
Yes.
improved. However, the goalposts had changed. The requirement had gotten higher. Is that right?
Yeah,
I,
I guess
s-
so.
I see. Wow. Whereabouts in England did you go? Or Britain, sorry.
I was studying in University of Kent, so it
Kent.
was in Canterbury. Yes.
Wow. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, so much.
Uh-huh. And what did you study at a master's, in your master's?
uh, I did masters in film studies.
Interesting. Wow. Did you like the food in England?
Yeah,
Um,
but like in South Asia, our taste is a bit different than the British people, so it's like mixed. Sometimes yeah, sometimes no, not that much.
okay, that's a very diplomatic answer. I like. But what did you think of the curry there in England? We've got amazing curries, like Bangladeshi curry, Indian curry, Pakistani curry. We've got all of them, I think.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, were they as good as home?
It actually in England, Indian restaurants are more available than Bangladeshi restaurants, and
Okay.
Indian cuisine is a little bit different than Bangladeshi cuisine. So it was good, very good. I was very happy. And actually, when I was studying in Kent, I was working in an Indian restaurant, so I used
Oh.
to eat lots of good food. So yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I've done the same. We're going to just digress for a second, then we'll get back onto IELTS. But when I was in Spain, I
Yeah,
worked
sure.
in a restaurant too, and there's so many
Mm-hmm.
advantages for working in a restaurant. Like I never went to
Yes.
the supermarket. I was just always fed by the restaurant, and fair enough,
Yes.
I couldn't go out that much, like to socialize, but that meant that I wasn't spending money, and I was just socializing in the restaurant with friends and customers, and
Yes.
so the money was it was stacking up, but I think hospitality is it's a good industry for a certain amount of time because you can quickly get burnt out, I
Yes.
found. Yeah. Okay
Yeah,
then.
true.
So you touched on the writing before. What was am I right? Writing was like the obstacle that you needed to overcome. Is that right? Oh, shag. Oh, sorry about that, Shalha.
Sorry, Ben. Yes.
No.
My friend was calling, so somehow the
Oh.
call dropped.
Okay, no worries, no worries. Yeah, so I was just going to say, writing
Yes.
was the biggest hurdle you had. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Gotcha. And what were the pain points of not having a solution to this problem?
Actually, I didn't have the proper guidance I need at the beginning. So I was trying to improve my writing quality, but it was not improving because I didn't know how to improve it. So I was just looking at different essays I can find online, or I was just looking for YouTube videos. But the suggestions I was collecting from those sources, those were not specific. Those were not specific or not what I needed to hear or know about my writings. So I think that's the main problem I had. And also, as a student or as a writer, I write very slowly. Like from my school, and when I was in universities, in the exams, I was always the last one to finish writing. So I always have that problem. So in the IELTS, when I have to gather ideas in 40 minutes for one essay and then I have to complete it, it was difficult for me. And also I used to make spelling errors, and I didn't know that it was a big mistake. I thought that we always use computers or mobiles and we have the autocorrect option. So I thought it's not as important as the other parts. So I kept making spelling mistakes, I think, for first 3 exams, and I didn't know it is an important sector.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a shame, isn't it? That's because you can lose points for each word that you misspell. So just going back a bit, when you were looking online and looking at different essays, were you making any progress with that? Because I imagine that I would look at some videos and look at some other videos and almost get a little bit confused. Was it the same for you?
Yeah, it was same for me. And actually, like when I'm writing the essay, every essay is different. So doesn't matter what I'm hearing from the YouTube video, I cannot actually implement it in every different essays. That's what I face. Like I don't know, like especially when so after my first exam, I took one coaching classes from a center here in Dhaka. And at that time I realized that I was not able to generate ideas, or my first 2 lines of each paragraph, like for introduction and also body paragraph 1 and 2, was not specific to the question. Like the answer was not as specific. Like I was answering something else. I was just rephrasing what the question is saying, but or something else. But because it's not answering the question, so I'm not actually getting marks because I'm saying something else.
Gotcha. So your answers, I mean, you found videos, but they didn't really correspond. They might have worked for some questions or for some essays, but for others they didn't. Is that right?
Yeah, like they help me, like I know like how to end a letter or how to begin it or how many paragraphs I need, but they didn't help me to point out what I'm missing out, or what I need to write inside each paragraph. So I was not very clear about that.
Gotcha. Interesting. Very interesting. And before we get on to how you solved that, I just want to mention the other point. You said that you're very slow at writing, both in your own language and in English. And
yes.
How is your handwriting? Is it beautiful? Is it normal? Is it legible? Or is it chicken scratch, as we say in the UK?
No, my writing is not so bad. Like you
Okay.
can understand it, and also like I don't like it's easy to read, and some of my friends even say that my English handwriting is beautiful.
Yeah, I thought
But
so.
it doesn't help me in IELTS, like if I don't complete the essay, they're not going to give me marks because it's a beautiful handwriting.
No, unfortunately, they don't. Not yet. Not at the moment.
Yeah.
No, but I thought this,
Okay.
Shala, because when you said it takes you a long time to write, I was thinking, I bet it's pretty good handwriting because, to write,
Okay.
yeah, to write quickly. Unless you've got a lot of experience, you usually have to sacrifice something, and usually what it looks like is what gets sacrificed. So let's just go back
Okay.
to the content of the paragraphs. This was an issue, and what options did you look at before you joined the course? How did you consider solving this problem, or how did you even know that this was the problem? Was it just like the frustration, or
I was very frustrated, to be honest. Um, After the first exam, I took the coaching, and then I took the second exam, but I got six.
mm,
So I understood that nothing improved.
mm,
And then I keep like I took the third exam actually without any preparation. Like I was very angry or something that why I'll still get six. So I didn't tell anyone. I just booked online, like the computer delivered,
yeah,
and I just secretly gave the third exam. And
wow,
I got the same marks. And then I thought, okay, I'll have to calm down. I'll have to take proper preparation before I
mm,
appear for the fourth time.
wow,
So I did some research online because I didn't have any faith on the coaching centers at that time because it didn't actually help me. Like they said me that my writing is not good enough, or I'm not answering the question that is asked, but how I can answer to the point that was not suggested by the teacher. So I was not ready to try any other coaching center or to go to anyone else.
right,
So then then I also joined some Facebook and WhatsApp group
mm-hmm,
for dedicated for IELTS students,
mm-hmm,
and then I found a template for answering different types of essays like uh, discussion type or uh, problem solution type. So on the template there was answer for like a uh, solution for each type of essays. So it was
mm,
very easy for me. I was just following that templates and uh, writing essays every day.
wow,
So that was very helpful for me. And
mm-hmm,
also I was trying to learn new vocabularies.
good,
So at that time in front of my table there was a board, like I was taking papers with vocabularies, and I was writing like if it is C1 word or C2 word and everything.
beautiful.
But I think that time I was my preparation was too much. Like I was using new vocabularies, but I didn't actually
Ah,
know that if the native English speaker will use uh, those words as I
mm,
am using it. Like I think
gotcha.
it calls collocation or
Yeah. You
uh,
can use collocations. It's usually, it's a group of words more commonly found
yes,
together than other words, for
right,
example. Yeah,
right.
that's
Right.
interesting,
So
Shal.
I was not, yes, I was not learning collocations. I was just learning the vocabularies,
Oh, right,
and
now I understand.
I didn't have anyone to check my essays.
Mm,
So I didn't know that those, like what kind of mistakes, if it's a big mistake or not. So I
right.
appeared fourth time, and I got six again.
Oof, oof,
Uh,
oof. That hurts, doesn't it? I imagine after all
yeah,
this
yeah, because on
preparation.
the sixth time, right. And on the sixth time, on the fourth time, like I had the template. So I knew that I'm answering to the point, and at that time, I didn't have to struggle a lot to organize my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
The ideas was very easy to get, and I was able to complete the writing on time as well.
Good.
But somehow I think I was making some mistakes on the fourth
Yeah.
time, and I don't know why. When I was doing the research before fourth time, I didn't know about IELTS podcast, or somehow it didn't appear on the Google search, or I didn't know that the kind of service you provide. So after fourth time, I was doing research on the phone, and I remember that I saw you have a page where you offer trial essay check.
Yes, yes, we do. Hold on though, before we jump into this,
Okay.
just to summarize, you had the trainer, or you tried the training services, the coach in your city, but you didn't get any improvement from that, so you were kind of frustrated and disappointed. So then you jumped online. After another test, you jumped online, you started looking at the Facebook groups and doing more research, and you found some templates to use.
Right.
And you started researching vocabulary, and then you took the test again, but unfortunately you were still stuck at 6. And in between that, you secretly took a test, but you didn't tell anybody. But they might find out now, by the way. Anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, and you had all the vocabulary, but you had this inclination, you had this sneaky suspicion that you were probably or possibly using the vocabulary incorrectly. And just one thing that I remembered now, you had it listed into C1, C2, B1, B2. Is that correct? You were grading them.
Yes.
How did you know to do that?
I was reading so many things online, so maybe from somewhere I learned that in the Cambridge Online dictionary, that you can find if it is a basic level word or it's a high level word.
Excellent.
So I was trying to learn like C1 and C2 vocabularies.
Excellent. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Great choice. Great decision there. Wow. Okay, so back to your situation. You got a trial essay correction, and was it Ellen who did the correction? Do you remember?
Yes.
It was
Yes,
Ellen. Super.
Right.
Gotcha. And then what did you realize after that?
I was very impressed because I sent my writing, and in one day I got the video feedback, and I was not expecting for something like that, because on the website you there was a few sentence and how you marked it like with red, green, and I found it very interesting, and that's why I took the trial session. But I didn't know that you will be sending me video feedback. So when I saw that the feedback is very well developed, and Ellen is providing me feedback on each and every sentence, I was I knew what are the mistakes I was making. And because Ellen is also a native English speaker, so she was able to tell me that this is not native would say that word, or how we can rephrase the same sentence in a different way. So it was very helpful.
That is fantastic. Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said that because she's a native speaker, she can easily tell which phrases can be used in which situations, which is a problem that you highlighted before when you said that you were learning lots of vocabulary, but
yes,
because they were quite new and they weren't learned sort of like in collocations or possibly taken out of context, it was difficult to know if you were using them correctly when you were writing. So what happened after the trial? Well, Ellen sent you back the correction, the video correction, so you could hear her thoughts and her suggestions as she's going through your
Yes.
work. Okay. And yeah, and then what happened? Oh, by the way, what are you doing with the other areas? How were you preparing for those, for the reading, listening, the speaking?
So for reading and listening, I was following the Cambridge book, and also for both the sectors, I was also following an online site, so we can give online exams on that website. So I was just doing that, and on that online site, the questions is harder than the Cambridge book. So it helped me a lot because I was prepared to face harder questions than a general training question would be.
Interesting. And that was the IELTS test online. Was it like
As
practice?
online test, yes.
Gotcha. Super. So you was just doing like one practice test a week, or what frequency were you? How many were you doing?
Actually, like during my first attempt, second and third, fourth attempt, I was doing that a lot, like regularly. But like before the fourth exam and also before the fifth exam, I didn't. I did some tests, but I was confident, so I tried to focus on writing more than reading and listening. But I solved almost all the Cambridge and also all the reading and listening test in IELTS online. So I have solved all of those exams.
Wow.
I think
So
I
you worked
repeated
through them all.
the Cambridge.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you buy the books?
I bought
Sorry.
few, like couple of books,
Yeah.
Cambridge, and other, like in YouTube we can practice listening actually.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. Okay, no, when you
Yeah.
said I thought you was going to say you downloaded a load online at some site, but no, yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. That's good. And you were right. You're right. They are available on YouTube, the listening test. So yeah, that's a good
Yes.
point. Now then, after you got your trial essay correction back, you saw all your mistakes, you saw where you were going wrong, you saw what you were doing right. Then what happened? What was the next step you took?
So after that, I contacted to take a package, like you have 8 essay correction pack. So I tried that one because I knew that I need to improve my English. And yeah, but what happened is, like, it was, I think, sometime in June or July or
Right.
August when I started practicing with like I started sending my essays.
Yeah.
But after sending 3 or 4 essays, then I became very busy with my work, so I
Oh.
couldn't continue my preparation.
Right.
And then I think in December I started, like I emailed you, and then Nadine, I think Nadine replied that I can still send the essays because I did, like, I checked 4 essays and I had 4 or 5 left.
Right. Okay.
So
And just for the benefit of the other students, did you see any, or did it impact your progression by stopping for a few months and then jumping back into it?
it didn't actually, when I had to stop sending the essays, then I feel that it will have a negative impact on my preparation. But then when I started sending the essays again, then I realized that no, actually, because I have all the previous videos with me, so I can go back to the videos and I can play and I can revise what are the feedbacks I received. So actually it didn't didn't hampered so much. But if you ask me, I would suggest everyone to like complete the essay check and just appear on the IELTS test
Yeah.
and not to take any break in between, because
Y-
like mentally it is very frustrating. And I was also depressed for a long time when I
Oh
had to
no.
take the exams again and again.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think
Totally understand. So, although you took a break, when you got back into it, did you review all your previous essays, like the feedback?
yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
good. And then that kind of like brought you up to speed. And then, so when you started submitting them again, it wasn't as if you were starting from zero, because you had the videos
Yes,
there online, which you could
yes,
consult
yes.
anytime you want to. Super. Okay. And then, so you jump back into it and you started getting, you finished all the corrections and then you took the test again. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Excellent. What, just before we go into the results of what happened in your final test, or the latest test, how did your essays improve once you started getting feedback?
Mm, After receiving the feedbacks, I was more um, how do you say it? Like I was more mindful, or I was more conscious when I was writing
Mm,
it, because I know what are the feedbacks I was receiving from Ellen. And it's this time, like I'm not just writing for myself, but there is a teacher who is going to check it. So
mm,
I'll have to be careful that I don't make the same mistakes.
mm,
So it helped me. And also I was trying to make less spelling mistakes. And also I received some feedbacks regarding the grammar, so I was being careful.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Very.
also I received a very good feedback on the first essay check. That was a problem solution essay. And
Mm-hmm.
like I had the templates before, so I knew what I'm writing. But in the problem solution essays, Ellen suggested me that I'm writing more about the problem, and when I'm giving the answer for the solution, I'm just writing maybe two sentence when I need to develop the solution part as much as I did for the problem. So that was something new I learned. So
Very interesting, very interesting. And what I like about the answer you just gave was, or the response, was like when you were in the test, you were very aware. It was like almost like a teacher was over your shoulder, looking over your
yes,
shoulder, and you was aware that there would be an examiner reading this. And by the way,
right.
when you were getting your corrections back, what did you do? Did you make a list of the mistakes, or how did you use these corrections Ellen was giving you?
Okay, so when I started sending the essays again, then um, I in the laptop we can stick a notepad, right? It
Mm-hmm.
calls notepad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was writing the spelling mistake or vocabulary or collocation errors I'm making. So those were on my laptop. So whenever I was turning on the laptops, I used to see the words. And
Mm.
I thought that I'll make the practice to look at those words every day in the morning or whenever I'm working in laptop. But I couldn't do it every day, but it was on my laptop screen. So I used to see the words that I was making mistakes with. So,
Gotcha.
yes.
So even though you
And
weren't,
also,
yeah, go on.
yes, and also with the every essay check, Ellen used to send me some word suggestion or collocation suggestion, like 6 or 7 words. So
Yeah.
that helped me too.
Ah, that's super. Yes. So you just reminded me. Yeah. And these
Yeah.
collocations were related to the actual next question. That,
Okay.
Not,
Yes.
yeah, they were. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty certain that when, for example, if we send an essay question about, I don't know, medicine or health, then we'll usually send a list of collocations or suggested collocations that you can incorporate into your essay to help you improve your score.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
super.
it was very helpful for me because when I was doing the online research, I tried to find such words, but it is
Mm,
very difficult to find those words because in most of the cases, like I'll have to read or like I'll have to listen to YouTube videos, like,
yeah.
but all the time, like I'll have to put so much effort. But when Ellen was sending me the word list, I was able to like the every word list was like 7 or 8 words at least, so I was
Mm.
able to pick the words that, like that are easy for me to use.
Fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. This is what we thought when we were sending back the questions. If we could include a list, then it just speeds things up because at the end of
Yes.
the day, you need to learn vocabulary quickly for the test. And having to search for that vocabulary yourself is not the best use of your time when you could be using that time to actually use the vocabulary in your essay.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So is there anything else about working with Ellen that we haven't covered yet that you'd like to share? We covered everything?
No, yeah. And
Okay.
I really like that I was able to receive feedback like in 1 or 2 days.
Yeah.
So it is before I forgot what I wrote, I was able to hear the feedback. So I was
Yeah.
able to improve myself.
Yeah,
And
that's
also, there was one online site that I used to send my essays for check, but they used to like they give feedback at the same time. It's just computerized check, I guess. But that is not as same as checking with IELTS podcast because here I can hear the human feedback. So yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah. About the fast response, I think this is so important because, like you just said, not only do you have the essay fresh in your mind, it's like in your active memory and it's still present, but
Right.
also it's going to help you keep momentum. You know, if it takes a week to get your essay back, it's quite easy to get distracted and jump into another side project. You know, maybe working on your listening or doing something completely non-IELTS related, and then 7 days later you get the essay back and you've got to jump back into your IELTS preparation. I think it just makes it even more of a challenge. That was my experience.
True.
So.
Yes.
What would you say to any student who's considering about getting their essays corrected, or who is stuck at a 6 or a 6.5? What would you say to them?
I would say that I was very stupid that I gave exam 5 times because it's not as difficult as I thought. Like in the last exam, my like in the last exam, I thought I'll not get my desired score, but I received it. So I would suggest everyone to take IELTS podcast course or the SSC so they can receive the desired band because it's not so difficult. It's just we are trying in the wrong way or we are not receiving the feedback we need.
Good point. Good
Sorry,
point.
I'm not good at giving suggestions.
No. That was fantastic. That was really good, Shahla. It was good. It was good. Don't apologize for that. And I'd just like to add 2 things that, just to summarize there, what Shahla said was
Yeah.
it's just getting the feedback can speed up the improvement process so much. And I think a lot of students misunderstand or guess incorrectly or estimate incorrectly how close they are, and that with some feedback we can get you back on track and get you to where you should be and to get you the scores you deserve. But one thing really important, probably more important, Shahla, is that you said I was really stupid. I would disagree because that, and I think we should just not beat ourselves up. About taking the test so many times or whatever. We shouldn't beat ourselves up, especially you shouldn't definitely not beat yourself up about this, because in the end you got the solution. In the end you did pass the exam, and
Yes.
you got there in the end. You didn't give up, and it's quite easy
Right.
to beat ourselves up once we're looking at it, like with hindsight, once we're looking back on it. But the important thing to focus on is just like, hey, actually, I did get the results. I did get what I wanted. And and we all make we've all been there, and we all sort of like realize, I was so silly or whatever. But the important thing, I think, to focus on is like, hey, I did find a solution, and now I know the next time I'm facing something challenging, I'm going to look for help, or I think the important thing is that this is a very important, valuable lesson there. So we all beat ourselves up, but you found a solution. So that's
I'm very happy that I took the course, because otherwise I don't know how many times I would have needed to give the exam. So I really recommend everyone to take the course before it's too late, because like most of us, we are trying for immigration purpose, and day by day it is becoming more competitive. So
this is so true.
We need to act fast.
And it's so time consuming as well, isn't it? Like not only the time preparation you need for maybe going to an academic center, you got to commute there if you're going with a coach, but the time and the stress involved in booking a test and going to the test center, reappearing for the test, and all the mental energy tied up with this. And as you said, it can take its toll on your mental health, and it seemed like you touched on very slightly, it got you down. It gets you down. So so well done for pushing through, Shahla. And
thank you.
You should be really proud of your results. And I imagine you are.
Yeah,
so,
I am.
In the end, what were your scores? Tell us.
Okay, so in the end, it was 7, 7, 7, and 8 in listening.
Wow.
Yeah.
You superstar. Well done.
Thank you.
But you said...
And the reading was really difficult this time.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
Like from 31 to 40, I was not able to follow the paragraphs at all.
Oof.
But luckily, I managed 7, so I'm really grateful.
Wow. Yes. Yeah. Well done. Well done again there. And just before we finish, I had a very important question. Before I just realized you said that Dhaka is the capital of Bangladesh, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and I just remembered. Well, I had a flashback. Dhaka dal is a curry as well, isn't it?
Dal?
Dhaka dal is like a really garlicky, creamy lentil curry.
Yes.
Yeah, I just realized it's from the capital of Bangladesh then, isn't it? I think.
Yes, it is.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very much related to IELTS, but no, I really wanted
Where did you have it?
Yeah, I used to have it a lot, actually. They had it as a special every Wednesday at this Indian restaurant I used to go to a lot in Warsaw. Yeah. And it was my special. My Indian friend and me, we used to go every Wednesday because he really liked it as well. And the penny dropped when you said it from Dhaka.
Yes.
Actually, you pronounced it Dhaka, didn't you?
No, it's Dhaka.
Dhaka. Okay, gotcha. Dhaka.
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah, and then the penny dropped. I was like, I heard that, and then I remember, Dhaka dal on Wednesdays. Anyway, this isn't a podcast about curry and Indian food or Bangladeshi food. That's the next episode. But anyway, Shahla, thank you very much for doing this interview. And you will be a massive inspiration for all the other students who are taking IELTS. So I want to thank you,
Thank you.
on behalf of them, and I wish you all the best for Vancouver.
Thank you so much, Ben. I wish you all the best too. And I have heard about your other projects with IELTS, and that sounds really good. Like, all the best.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for that. You just reminded me, actually, I'll just say this to the listeners, that we will have a voice speaking bot launching in a month or two. I really do hope. And if anybody is interested in helping me test this, then please get in contact. When you sign up to IELTS Podcast, you can get our email, and you'll also get the offer for the lower priced essay corrections. And sorry, Shahla, what did you say?
Oh, no, I didn't say anything.
Okay, sorry, you just broke up. And so that's everything from Shahla and myself, and good luck with your IELTS exams.
Thanks for listening to IELTSPodcast.com.